Hey, is Nicholas there?
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, this is Chris. So Joe gave me your information and said you were looking to sell your property on 88th.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I just be upfront. I'm an investor. I get lists sent to me. I looked a little bit into it, but I didn't dive too far because a lot of the times I call people and they're like, no, I ain't selling, or some of the information I was given was like completely not correct. So I'm just touching base. I definitely buy in the area. From what I've looked into so far, it seems like something I'd be definitely interested in. They didn't give me a price though, so I don't have a price, and all I really have is it says the reason why you're selling is there's some water damage and you don't have time to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just of an inconvenience to fix it. So we're also investors in that area, the Cleveland, Parma, and Elyria areas. And for this particular one, one of the pipes burst in the winter, and insurance has been, trying to deny it. We've been going through attorneys and all this stuff, but it's looking like we might not win it, and so we're basically just kind of looking for, the next steps to see if it's going to be more beneficial for us to just essentially offload this thing, or to simply just, put the money into it and just rent it out ourselves. And so, yeah, that's a work.
So since you do this, do you know how much the rehab is going to be, and how bad is it? Do you have pictures you can send me?
I think we have some pictures. Yeah, I might have some pictures that we can send you that came from the insurance report.
Okay, cool.
There's the price that is being quoted for the insurance company, as opposed to the price that we would be doing if we were to get it on our own, because insurance has to use Exactometer, and they have their own formulas and guidelines as to how things have to be mitigated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So for the insurance, we don't even know what the rebuild was. I know the mitigation was like 35 grand or something like that.
Okay.
And then that doesn't even include the rebuild, which is why I think that they were looking to deny it anyway.
Okay. So what number did they come up with? Because I'm going to just send my contractor out there. So I might meet him out there. Are you local?
I'm not local.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm out of state. But yeah, so our contractor, is basically saying it's going to be one price for the insurance, but not necessarily. You don't have to do all the mitigation. It doesn't seem it's been like that since like January, and he went there the other week. Said that there hasn't been any mold hasn't grown, fortunately. There hasn't been any major issues. They did the initial drying of it with those giant fans or whatever the heck they
Yeah.
used.
Did you demo the drywall or plaster? So
No.
okay.
So none of that was done. He said it was plaster, but he did look at it and he said, it's probably something he can do for vastly cheaper. Because you probably don't have to go through necessarily all the mitigation process.
Yeah.
If we don't want to, that the insurance companies would require. So that he hasn't given an exact number on it yet, but he made it sound like 20 grand would be on the high end in order to get everything done completely.
Okay.
So probably 15 to 20.
All right. So yeah, I mean, so what'd you send to insurance? Like 60, 70,000?
Well, so the mitigation was 35, and we didn't even do the rebuild because until they fully mitigate it and the rebuild's not sent. But with a 35K mitigation, they're obviously going to be scared because the rebuild's typically more.
Yep.
So yeah. So now at this point, we're just kind of trying to figure out, is it worth paying X amount of monies for the attorneys to try and get $90,000 or $100,000 settlement, or to simply the attorneys are going to take a third of that, which is 30 grand, or just put in the 20 grand to ourselves and stop dealing with insurance, and mitigation won't necessarily be as sufficient or follow the protocol that it would need to for insurance, but probably still going to get the job done without
So what insurance did you guys end up going with, since this is an investment property? I'm out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity.
I don't want to disclose that just because we are currently still in the middle of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna stay away if you're losing disputes.
Right.
Yeah. But you're good. So what do you
yeah.
need to get out of it? So I could just solve this problem, and I could just buy it outright and fix it myself and do all this. So what's your did you already come up with a number? It's been since January. Is it just your property? Do you got a team of people, or
Just me and the wife's property. We haven't thought. We just started to approach the idea of potentially selling it. So we don't really have the number, I guess, off the top of my head per se for this particular property. We're just, yeah. I mean,
do you have do you got a loan on this right now? Are you carrying?
We do. We bought it. So we bought it only like maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
So we do have a loan on the property. We bought it for $115. I think we probably put 20% down, so I don't know, 95 or whatever on it. So yeah, so I mean, it would, I don't know, based on I haven't been following the comps too much in that particular area because we've been focusing more on Parma.
Yeah.
These couple months, but yeah, we would need to at least get our money back and then have it not be worth putting the extra 20K in and just saying screw it, but we'll do 20K and just rent it out ourselves and sell it in 5 years or whatever.
Okay. Well, I could see why you would prefer Parma over Cleveland. They have been coming down on us investors pretty hard on our rental properties with the lead mitigation and all the certificates that's required. Yeah. I don't blame you. So I've had a couple.
We have a couple duplexes in Cleveland, and yeah, they're all just. We've been trying to do Section 8, and it's just a pain in the ass dealing with them. So yeah, Parma's just been so much easier. The lead paint certification, they just.
Well, hey, I'm glad I at least touched out because I got a bunch of leads in Parma that I generally just never went with because all of our contractors. I know it's not that far, but all of our resources is kind of in Cleveland, so having them drive out even further. And do you have contractors and all that out there?
We have guys that I have a main contractor that I work with, and then whenever we sell a property, we have a realtor too.
Yeah.
But if we were to be doing this one, we don't want to use a realtor because it's just going to too much of the fees are going to be.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's fine. I do this all the time. So I guess let's figure out. I like the area. I already have a few in that area, so I'm okay with the area. I don't even got to dig too much into that. I already know that. The main thing I need to do is get my contractor out there, just to give a once over. I don't know that I've ever, as long as it's just a water break, I don't know that I've ever done anything. I don't have any pictures for $20,000. Normally I end up spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, to bring things up to rental code and with broken pipe and water and all that. I would just look into doing that, but even with that number, at least I know with the rental in the area, I should do pretty good, but that depends what we come to an agreement with on the purchase price. So, what's it going to take for me to get in there?
I would have to reach out to my contractor, but again, we don't want to waste his time or anyone else's time too. If we, without at least some sort of idea of what we would even be looking at, if it's worth it. I mean, I had some guy that called me the other day, and he's like, well, we would need to get in there, this and that. He's like, but we're probably looking at $75,000, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to waste, so that.
Okay. Well, so 75 grand is no. I did just buy one down the street for 90, but it sounds like it was in similar condition. Didn't have a broken pipe, but I had to replace a lot of stuff. All we got to do is just figure out what you want. I'll run my numbers, and as long as my cash on cash is good, my lender will lend on it. So I'll be using hard money. It typically takes, I'll say 3 weeks max to close, but you've been sitting on this for a minute. Yeah. So whatever you want to come up, we can just iron out a price right now. I'll run my numbers. I'll reach out to my lender, send him everything he needs, and if he says it go, yeah, you're right. I don't want to waste anybody's time, but without having pictures and knowing, I either need to see the pictures so I know, or I need to have my contractor out. Otherwise, I'm just kind of shooting at the dark here.
Okay, let's say your contractor says he can get it out for 20 grand. What would be your price then that you would offer?
Let me double back on locking in, but I'd like you to at least break even. So if we can get you somewhere where you're breaking even, does that work for you?
If we get our, so we had done a bunch of renovations prior to this.
Oh, really?
So that's why it's been a bit of a pain in the ass. But we had done a bunch of renovations. The upper unit is, for the most part, untouched. There's not really too much issues that need to be done. The bottom part, it's the bathroom, the hallway, and then basically the, 2 bedrooms.
Okay, so the kitchen's still nice down there. Hey, you know what? If you could just send me pictures, I'll just base it off that. And I can assure you, I'm definitely not wasting your time unless you're trying to get market value. As an investor, we ain't buying nothing market value. So especially that needs repair. So let's do this. What I will do is I'll send me those pictures. I'll look at it. I'll talk to my contractor, and then I guess I'll have to make an offer. That's where we go from here. I don't want to just be like, oh, I'll give you 100K. Without seeing it.
I'll send you pictures I'll go scroll through this claim and send you just some screenshots that we got.
Okay.
And then I'll send you up the damage, and then everything else.
Yeah, and I could send you info on us. So, I mean, if you want to, I definitely. Let's see. Last month, I think I closed on like 8 deals, 7 or 8. So, well, one doesn't count, but it will count.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, so I'm definitely interested. I'll figure out what my offer is going to be. It'd be nice if you had an offer, because I don't like to lowball people. Like if I'm nowhere near where you're going to be, I don't want to lowball. I just, so if you guys want to give it some thought, well, I'll get back to you today. It shouldn't take me that long to figure this out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'll text the number 9653. We have some screenshots. I think I might even have a video walkthrough as well of the place. So yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then my name's Chris. I like to say Chris from Detroit. I know I'm calling from a Florida number. I live in both places, so this is my work phone.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Will you be available later?
I should be.
Okay.
Yeah. Try and get.
Yeah, I'll call you back from this number. That way it's me.
What is market value in that area? I haven't been following up in that spot.
There
was no reputations to say like what. I mean, what's the price that we're
on that particular one? So I just bought one for 90, and we got it appraised at our ARV on that, because we did a hard money on that, and it was like 160.
Okay. That's what I thought roughly it would be too.
Yeah.
That's why we bought it for 115. We're like. We already had put, maybe 15 into it, so that's like 130, and then that's why we're kind of like, our contractor does it for 120, it'll all be completely, new and renovated, and, it's going to be about 160, so we're still going to get some equity in it immediately, and so that's why we're kind of we're really on that fence as to whether or not,
worst case, so my lender, the 70% rule is going to apply. So right off the rip, he's only going to lend X amount of dollars. I don't mind maybe. I particularly don't like to go above that. So I kind of stay in that range. And considering I got to do all this work and pay contractors and then the unknowns and then dealing with Cleveland, I like to keep a nice little buffer. So if you and your wife want to kick it around, where are you located? I didn't catch the area code.
We're in San Diego.
Oh, a California investor. So that's the last, not last one, but like 3 buys ago was someone from California as well who was investing in Cleveland. Seems to be where you guys are going. Do you invest in Cali at all?
Yeah, we got a couple, like maybe some condos in San Diego County, a couple condos, and the single family that we bought.
Yeah. So we just got it's in Lucerne Valley. Are you familiar with that area?
I'm not. That sounds like it might be more middle.
Yeah, it is. Just curious if you would have been like, yeah, that's my spot. Yeah, we just got it and we're listing it. It's 8 acres with we got a squatter issue, and squatter issues in California are Yep. So, yeah, I just feeling it out. You know, I've reached out to everybody I know in Cali to see if it's something up their alley. So,
Yeah, Cali is definitely a different ballgame when it comes to that.
but yeah, I'll reach out later and send me those pictures. I'll go over them. I'll get a hold of my contractor. I'm not even going to be back to Detroit till next week anyway. So, I generally have to walk everything that I buy. It's rare occasions that I buy something without walking it. So, yeah. Either way, I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you. Bye.